put 2 in there, I guess. Okay, what do I have to multiply x squared by to give me x to the 4th? X squared. When I multiply that out, I get x to the 4th plus x to the 3rd plus 4x squared. Draw your line, switch your signs, add straight down. What happens with the x to the 4ths? They cancel out. What's 3x to the 3rd minus x to the 3rd? What's negative 4x squared minus 4x squared? Negative 8x squared, good. Drop down the next and start over. What times x squared gives me 2x to the 3rd? 2x, good. Nice job. When I multiply that back out, I get 2x to the 3rd. What's 2x times x? What's 2x times 4? Draw your line, switch your signs, that's right down. What happens with the cubes? Yep. What's negative 8x squared minus 2x squared? What's 5x minus 8x? Drop down the next and start over. What times x squared gives me negative 10x squared? Negative 10. Which makes negative 10x squared. What's negative 10 times x? Negative 10x. And what's negative 10 times 4? Negative 40. Draw your line, switch your signs, add straight down. What happens with the x squareds? What is negative 3x plus 10x? What's 3 plus 40? What is 7x plus 43? Remainder. So the final answer is x squared plus 2x minus 10 plus 7x plus 43 all over x squared plus x plus 4. Long division. Long process. For 17, do I have to long divide that or can I synthetic divide it? I can synthetic this one. Why? The divisor is small enough. Could I still long divide it if I chose? Yeah, but yep. Okay. So on the divisor, when it says x plus 4, what number goes in your backwards L? What numbers go across that row? 1. Nope. 0. Negative 1. 0. And negative 7. Be very careful. Okay, and that almost happened where we forgot some pieces. When it starts with x to the 4th, that means it should go 4, 3, 2, 1, constant. If you're missing any of those, you got to put 0 in there to say, hey, I'm going to save your spot. Okay, so now what's the process? Drop the first one. Then what? Times it. Negative 4 times 1. I insert it underneath the next one. Then I add. What's 0 plus negative 4? Then I repeat until I get all the way to the end. What's negative 4 times negative 4? 16. What's 16 minus 1? Then 15 times negative 4. Negative 60 plus 0. Negative 60 times negative 4. 240 minus 7. 233. It started with x to the 4th. I drop it by 1. So what group do I start with? X to the 3rd. Right. So that's 1x to the 3rd minus 4x squared plus 15x minus 60 plus 233 over x plus 4. Again, what's the last number always going to be? Remainder. So, one more time, just so that you guys know. On the directions for stuff like this, it's going to say, perform the indicated operation. What are the operations? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Right? Then, on 19, it says to factor completely. What's the first thing you should always do when you're factoring completely? What's the first thing I always ask you? Thank you, Nick. Is there anything I can take out? Good job, Nick. I'm so proud of you. Nick said to take out an 8. And if I do that, I get 8x to the third minus 1. At this point right now, you have factored something. It's not factored completely yet, but you have factored something. The reason why it's not factored completely yet is because the giveaway for that, it says cubed. When it says cubed, then it's probably one of those cube formulas. The cube formula we're going to use in this particular problem says a to the third minus b to the third. A stands for the front group, b stands for the back group. Okay? And the way it works out is it says a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. That's the way that formula works. Now, here's where some of you have been messing this up. When I ask you what number multiplies by itself 3 times to give me 8, some of you are still telling me it's 8. 8 times 8 times 8 is 512, not 8. Okay?
There's so many 8s.
What number multiplies by itself 3 times to give you 8? 2. Right. This 8 stays out in the front. You said it was 2. And there's an x attached to it also, isn't there? What number multiplies by itself 3 times to give me a 1? Good. So why I did what I did right there is I just wrote down what the a was and what the b was. That's what I did. So what group is in the a position? What's in the front? What's in the front? 2x. Minus, what's in the back? 1. Then I take the front squared, which means I take 2x times 2x. What is 2x times 2x? 4x squared. Plus, then I take the front times the back. What is 2x times 1? 2x. Then I take the back squared. What is 1 squared? 1. And now I'm done. That's number 19. $20. Per what Nick said on the last one, what can you take out to begin with? 2z or not 2z? Right? So if I take a 2z out, what do I have left in the front? Z to the 4th minus 6z squared plus 5. Good. Now, if I can't go any further, I have factored something, but this does go further. Yesterday I talked about quadratic types. Do you see how the highest exponent's a 4 and the middle one's a 2? See how the middle one is half as big as the first one? That's a quadratic type. So what times what gives me z to the fourth? Z squared and z squared. What times what gives me 5 but adds up to be negative 6? Negative 5 and negative 1. When I multiply them, gives me positive 5, but when I add them, it gives me negative 6. Are we done with this one yet? No. This isn't going to do anything, so I might as well just write that down. What times what gives me negative 5 but adds up to be 0? That's not going to happen. Because the only things that multiply together to give me negative 5 are negative 5 and positive 1. And when I add them, that's not 0. But what about the back? What times what gives me negative 1 but adds up to be 0? Negative 1, positive 1. That's number 20. For 21, how do I do 21? What's the rule? Or what should I do first, I guess? Always see if there's anything I can take out. Is there anything I can take out of all 4 terms to begin with? No. The key to it, though, is I said 4 terms. When you have 4 terms, you do the group thing. What can I take out of the front group? Which leaves me with 2a, minus 7. What can I take out of the back group? Negative 4. Which would leave me with 2a minus 7. If you do grouping right, what should happen always? The numbers in the parentheses should be the same. Are they? Yes. So if I write it down, in another set of parentheses, what's left over? A squared minus 4. Can a squared minus 4 go further? Yeah. What times what gives me a squared? A and a. What times what gives me negative 4 but adds it to be 0? Plus 2, minus 2. Now, just so that you guys know, I'm not going to have time to do 22, but a 22 would be the same as what that one was. Or like it. So, again, here's a rundown of what you can expect tomorrow. 1 and 2, say, is this a polynomial? Yes or no? Then write it in the function, or in the standard form, state all the different pieces I asked for. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 say perform the indicated operation. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. 8, 9, 10, and 11. Factor the polynomial completely, just like what we just got done doing. And number 12, graph the function. List the key ordered pairs. Key ones meaning minimums, maximums, zeros, intercepts. And that's it. No word problem. Make sure you make your formula sheet or your